Dang it. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to 2019. Oh, are you excited? I'm super excited. So here I am, here to share a couple of tips for 2019. I know all of us are in full gear, ready to get started. We all have these new visions and ambitions and things that we're going to be working on for 2019, and I just wanted to share some of the things that I'm going to be doing as well, and then just share some things that I have experienced in the past, and also worked with a whole bunch of clients, and some pitfalls that I'm hoping that we can all avoid this year and really help us to stick to some of these goals. I like to call mine resolutions and stuff like that people do. I like to call mine intentions and visions for 2019, because I think that's it sets a more positive mindset to it, rather than calling it resolution, because a resolution is resolving a problem, right? So what I want to avoid is that negative tone of trying to resolve a problem. We want to set positive intentions and positive goals and so forth, and so that's why I choose the words intentions and visions. So hopefully all of us are embarking on 2019 with a clean slate, a fresh start, looking at it as a new opportunity to create your book for 2019, if you will, and create all these awesome new chapters that you will have for memories, for moments, successes, triumphs. Even if they're challenging times, hopefully there'll be triumphant times as well, because I always believe that even if you have challenges, you should look for the lessons in them and the strength that you've gained from them. So tip number one, if you haven't set a goal yet, set it, okay? Set a goal, set an intention, set a vision. That's not Santa, that's my dog with his jingly little collar there that is running around here. So back to the topic. If you have not set intentions for the year or goals for the year, I encourage you to do so. And I want you to take a few minutes to think about them, okay? And as you're thinking about them, write them down, okay? It's great to say, put it out in the open and just say, I'm going to really create a healthy lifestyle this year. That's great, but it doesn't really make it concrete, okay? So once you write a goal down, it is like putting it into a tangible form. You can touch it, you can see it. It's important to be able to visualize it, see the words, and see what you want to do. And make them really as detailed as possible, okay? So getting healthy is a great start, but, hone in on that, zoom in and see what else. What does that mean? What does that mean, getting healthy? Saving more, putting ourselves in a better financial position. What does it mean? Really get into the details and write those details down. The more detailed, the better, because you really begin to visualize and start seeing that goal come into like a reality, right? So it's got to have some details to it. I try to encourage folks to make them positive. So rather than say, I'm going to lose this or cut back on that, or I'm not going to eat this anymore, or I'm not going to spend like this anymore, or, I'm not going to, already sets a negative tone. You see what I'm saying? So the minute you put a negative word in front of that goal, you're already setting a negative tone to it. And what has proven in the past is to set positive things that your mind and your subconscious can wrap itself around to. So setting something positive. It's, I'm going to, increase my activity. I'm going to walk more. I'm going to walk twice a week for 10 minutes. I am going to drink more water. I am going to eat more fruits and vegetables. You know what I mean? So trying to make sure that whatever goal you set for yourself, it's set with a positive intention. And making sure that intention feels good. Whatever it is, it should give you a good feeling, not a negative feeling. So if it's like, I'm going to stop eating junk food. Junk food makes you feel crappy. And when you eat junk food, you feel like crap, and telling yourself that you're going to stop eating junk food probably makes you feel guilty, makes you feel like a loser, right? Oh, I suck at this or I suck at that. So it kind of sets this, negative ball in motion. And you don't want to do that. You want to set positive things that are going to make you feel good. So the goal has to be around something that, provides a positive feeling, whether it's, I'm going to feel great when I walk. I'm going to feel great when I drink more water. I'm going to feel really good if I save $10 a week in my bank account, because at the end of the month, I'm going to see $40 in my bank account. So you see how those intentions set off positive feelings. And when you start thinking positively and feeling positively, you're going to attract positive experiences into your life. So that's why it's important. But I like to add a twist to a goal, and I find that it helps people that I work with incredibly. Set your goal, but then tell yourself why. Why do you want this goal? What happens? What will happen? What is the outcome when this goal comes to fruition, right? So if I can save $10 a week for 4 weeks every month, what happens? I feel like I'm not strapped all the time. I feel like I have a cushion that I can fall back on. I don't feel as stressed. If I walk twice a week for 10 minutes, I feel good about myself, right? So why are we doing this? I want to feel good about myself. I want to improve myself. Being more active helps me to be more energetic for my kids. I will feel less winded. I'm going to create a health-life balance, with work and so forth. Going to bed earlier. I'm going to go to bed, Monday through Friday between 9 and 10. Okay. And what does that do for you? I wake up feeling better, refreshed. I feel like I've gotten enough sleep. So all of these things have to have an outcome, and they have to provide a reason, a why. So after you write your goal, I'm going to drink more water during the week, and I'm going to drink 2 water bottles a day, because when I drink more water, I feel better. I feel more hydrated. I feel more energetic. I feel like I've done something healthy for myself. Why do you want this goal? Okay. So that's tip number 1, setting a goal, writing it down, and telling yourself why. The second tip is take baby steps. In my experience, I've been in this industry for a long time, setting goals and helping people set goals and things like that. And it's always been health related, but you can transfer this to whatever. Baby steps. First, there's all these memes out there about people filling up the gyms in January and then emptying out in February. It's because we want to do too much too fast. Okay. You bite off big giant pieces, and you want to get healthy. So because you haven't defined that exactly, you decide you're going to go to the gym every week. You're going to go for 3 hours. You're going to eat nothing but salad, nothing but little herbs and water, and you're not going to have anything else. And that lasts for all of 3 weeks. Okay. Pretty much. People go anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks, and you fall off the wagon and you stay off. And then come next January, you'll be right back where you started. That's a typical cycle, a vicious cycle that I've described. And I've seen it happen so many times over and over and over again. So I like to suggest to folks, take tiny steps, okay? One little bit at a time. If you're trying to save more money or trying to be more conscious about your money, give yourself $20 a day, and say, I'm going to stick to this $20 a day as my budget for the day. And you'll start seeing little tiny baby steps. And then $20 will turn into $100 a month. It'll turn into, bigger things that you plan out for, and then you'll start budgeting, and you start having, all this extra money at the end of every month, and you'll start feeling better about yourself. Taking tiny little steps that can get bigger and grow into more sustainable habits is really the end goal, right? Because you don't want to just do something for like 3 months and then in May find yourself, oh my gosh, I gained everything back that I lost by the time it was April. And, here I am in May back again, and the summer's right around the corner. So I encourage you to implement small, gradual steps. 1 thing a week. 1 will always add up to 4 things in 1 month. And in 3 months, you'll have 12 new things you've started. because you've started slow and easy. So if you are looking to exercise, I don't think you should just go in every single day for 3 hours. Maybe start with twice a week for like 10 minutes. Then improve that next week, 3 times a week for 10 minutes. And then the week after that, maybe you do 3 times a week for 15 minutes. And the week after that, you'll do 3 times a week for 20 minutes. And then the week after that, maybe you'll do four times a week for 10 minutes. Kind of play around with what's comfortable, because the habits that are more sustainable are habits that your mind can wrap around, and your subconscious can wrap around them with ease, which means you haven't shocked your brain into something and then it's like, I'm so uncomfortable. This is such an uncomfortable space that I can't handle it for a long period of time. And so what happens is you give up and you start all over again. But if you convince your brain and, trick your brain into doing these tiny small things 1 week after another, slowly but surely, your brain will start saying by the end of a couple of months, it's like, oh, I didn't even realize you were exercising 4 times a week for 20 minutes. That's kind of crazy that I'm doing this now. But because you started small and you took tiny incremental steps, the outcome at the end of the long term is much better than if you would have started that end goal at the very beginning and not be able to sustain it. So as long as you're trending upward on the right path, that's the goal, is to trend in a positive direction. That's tip number 2. And number 3, I always like to talk about motivation mindsets. So one is prepare yourself for a setback. Okay, your mindset really plays a lot into whether or not this goal is going to happen. Where are you in your mindset? Are you already defeating yourself? Are you encouraging yourself? Are you kind with yourself? What are you setting yourself up for? Okay. If you start saying things to yourself like, oh, I always do this, and by the time March comes around, I'm going to be right back where I started. I'm going to gain it all back. Dial that negative mindset back. Okay. Really push yourself and say, you know what? Small setbacks are okay. These things happen. When you're starting something new, it is okay for you to prepare yourself for having messy beginnings, right? Because you're starting something new. You're not very good at it. It hasn't become a habit yet. So, give yourself permission to fall behind and then give yourself permission to catch back up. And that particular mindset will help you to, when you fall off the wagon, to stay off the wagon. So really it's about saying, you know what? Sometimes when we take a long trip somewhere, we have to make a pit stop and go to the bathroom because not everybody can hold it. We all have different bladder sizes, right? So if you're going to Cleveland, Ohio, which is my favorite example, we stopped like 6 times because everybody had to use the bathroom like every hour. So it's okay. It didn't mean we weren't going to get to Cleveland. It just meant we had some pit stops and we had to, account for that time that we had to pull over and use the bathroom and come back. So, the key is stay the course. Remember that the course can deviate and you can go into the service station and come back on the course. There's nothing wrong with that, and give yourself permission to do that and come back to it. Okay. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It means that everyone has setbacks and things happen in life, and extenuating circumstances happen. Things change, schedules change, kids get sick, work gets busy. But the thing is, dial it back, dial the negative talk and garbage in your head, dial it back and say, okay, this week sucked big time. It super sucked. I don't know how I'm going to do this, right? But okay, I let that out of my system. How can I do better? The schedule doesn't work for me. Where can I fit this in? How can I do this better than I did last week? And be kind to yourself, because we're not all perfect. So if you would tell if a friend came to you and said to you, I totally suck this week, I couldn't do this, are you the type of person that would say, yeah, you do suck? No. So why would you talk like that to yourself, right? So you should be kinder to yourself than you are to everyone else. So that way you can continue to give that kindness out. So that's my last tip. I hope you guys enjoy it and put it to use. And if you do, let me know. I would love to hear what your goals are, what your intentions are. Writing them here is another way to reaffirm and put it out into the universe, or pray for that intention and that vision to come to fruition in your life. And so I have 2 things I'm going to share with you. So you share with me your goal and your vision, and that's great. I hope, I'm anxious to see everybody's intentions this year. I like to encourage folks to really do those, because I get excited. I can see, people evolving, and that is exciting to me. So, and the second thing is, for anybody who does have any health goals, I am going to be launching a 30-day challenge. It's going to be a private group. I'm going to help you out. We're all going to help each other out. We're going to be really positive. It's for 30 days. It starts on January 15th. I'm going to put a link in the comments so you guys can join if you want to. Or maybe you know somebody who could really use it, who's maybe set the same intentions and the same goals year after year, and you really think that they maybe could use some help, some motivation, some tools. I have some great tools that I'm going to be sharing with folks in that private group, so that you can really focus in on these goals and help you to organize yourself and really keep your mind focused, laser focused on that vision, and make it come true. And it's a great jump start. If you have health goals, it's a great jump start to get you started and really get you motivated to make those goals come true. So I'll be sharing that in the comments, but don't forget to share your intentions with me, because I'd love to hear them. All right, folks, have a wonderful Monday. This was my little motivation Monday today, and I hope you guys have a great week. Happy 2019 to all of you. Hope to see you soon in the new year. Take care.